Hello, boys and girls. Welcome to our science lesson on parts of a flower. In our lesson today, we're going to be covering these objectives. 1, you should be able to name the parts of a flower. 2, you should be able to state the function of each part of a flower. And you should be able to label a diagram to show the main parts of a flower. Let's get into our lesson. Question: what is a flower? Have you ever wondered that question? Sure enough. But I'm sure if you go outside and look at the plants, you'll see some beautiful parts on it. Those beautiful parts that you see are the flower of the plant. And what is the purpose of the flower? Basically, the flower is the reproductive structure of any flowering plant. So, what are the parts of the flower? This picture right here is a cross section of what the parts of a flower will look like. So this is what you will typically see when you are looking close up at a flower. Let's learn about each of these parts. First and foremost, you will notice that the flowers has petals. Petals are the brightly colored parts of the flower, and they may vary in color from plant to plant. On this plant, the color of the petal, as you can see, is a light shade of purple. Collectively, the petals on a flower are called or known as the corolla. Another part of the flower that you may notice is the stamen. This is an example of the stamen by itself. Now, what is a stamen? It is the male reproductive organ of the flower, and its purpose is to produce pollen, which is often carried away by birds and insects and deposited on other flowers. The stamen consists of two parts. The first part, as you can see here, is called the anther. The anther is where all the pollen is produced, and it is that bulb-like looking portion that you're seeing at the top of the stamen. The second part of the stamen is called the filament. It is that slender looking stalk-like structure that supports the anther. Now, what is this part of the flower called? It's called the pistil. It is the female reproductive organ of the flower. And just like the stamen, it consists of several parts. What are those parts? Let's see. The first part of the pistil, as you can see here, is known as the stigma. It is that sticky bulb that you see in the center of flowers, and it is the part where the pollen would attach to aid in the process of fertilization. Next is the style. This is the second part of the pistil, and it's shaped much like a stalk, and it supports the stigma and connects it to the ovary. Third, you have the ovary, that bulb-looking portion at the bottom of the pistil. The ovary is the part that holds all the ovules. If we should look inside the ovary, this is what we would see, the ovules. The ovules is the part of the flower that develops into a seed when it is fertilized. One or more ovules are enclosed by the ovary, which develops into a full fruit. Finally, on the flower, there are sepals. This part of the flower is usually green in color, and it protects the flower when it is in bud, and it supports it when it is in bloom. So there you have it, students. These are all the parts of the flowers. So what did we learn? 1, we learned that flowers are the reproductive organs of a plant. We learned that flowers has a male and female reproductive organs. Also, the male organ is called the stamen, and it consists of the anther and filament. And finally, we learned that the female organ is called the pistil, and it consists of the stigma, style, ovary, and ovule. Now that you know all the parts of the flower, it is time for you to complete a worksheet that will be posted in the Google Classroom.